Bournemouth 1, Liverpool 0. An embarrassing, humbling, disgraceful performance from Liverpool after the highs of their win over Manchester United. Maybe, just maybe, the over-celebrating, maybe the overindulging, maybe the thought process of we are 100% back, we have no problems. The high line exploited again. The terrible defending exploited again. Klopp's in-game decision-making awful again for Liverpool, and they are embarrassed with the worst performance and defeat of the season by any club in the Premier League, beaten by bottom of the table Bournemouth. And they didn't lay a glove. Mo Salah bottling. A penalty was as close as they really got. A decent shot from Jota, and oh my God. And I'm telling you this now, the only 7 that we're talking about today is the 7 points that Man United are clear of you with a game in hand. So you can take your celebrations all you want, but that's my 7 today. 7 points clear of you. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it with your nonsense all week. You don't learn how to banter properly. Come to the master. Come talk to your dad. You hold it down and you wait for the next game. Liverpool fans couldn't do it, and they are now looking stupid. Stupid! Absolutely stupid. An horrendous performance today, and you should be fuming with your club. How dare Liverpool do that to Man United and work that hard and then get beat by Bournemouth, get outrun by Bournemouth, outworked by Bournemouth. This is another sackable offense for Jurgen Klopp. The guy does not learn. His decision-making today was awful, and we're going to delve into every single one of them. You may have won the 7-0 trophy, but you would swap and be 7 points clear of Man United and secure in top 4. You absolutely would, without a shadow of a doubt. And this was the kind of attitude we saw from Liverpool fans yesterday. We're going to do Bournemouth-Liverpool. What you saying, Sonny? What's going to be the score?
I'm saying 5-0 Liverpool.
Look at the evidence. 7 in our last game. Last time we played Bournemouth 9-0. I think minimum it's got to be 3. And I think it's not too hard to put in a good performance at Bournemouth. What's their capacity? 8,000. They haven't got enough fans to even make an atmosphere. So I think we're right.
We're going to do Bournemouth.
Stop it. Get some help.
Listen, too much attitude, too much confidence. I'm just saying it now. You guys got humbled today. And let's delve into the game, though. Let's delve into the game here. The high line that Jurgen Klopp continues to employ has ruined your season. Liverpool are the 3rd highest goal scorers in the Premier League. As much as Gakpo and Darwin Núñez and everybody up there get kind of slagged off and they get attacked, Liverpool, I think, have scored the 3rd highest amount of goals in the league this year. Yet they can't defend. The high line is a problem. Van Dijk, an absolute beyond humbling of a season for him. Totally at fault for the first goal. Didn't go with the runner. Allowed him to get a free cross into the box. Tapped in 1-0 and couldn't recover from there. Trent Alexander-Arnold not only hauled off after 65 minutes when you need a goal, but asleep again, multiple defensive mistakes, to a point where a defender was doing keepy-ups in front of him in the box. Sloppy today from Liverpool. As I say, they overindulged on that win over Manchester United, and they couldn't hold the ball properly, poor touches. And then you've got the in-game decision-making. Why was Mo Salah left on the football pitch and Darwin Núñez, the only real threat today for Liverpool, taken off? He looked so dangerous in behind. He looked a real threat. You could see the celebration in the Bournemouth fans' faces when he was taken off. Another Klopp mistake. And then Mo Salah himself, listen, he's a player I praise a lot. I don't think this makes him a bad player. But they get a penalty, they catch life. And what happens? He doesn't even miss it. It's maybe the most horrendous miss I have seen. It's an absolute travesty of a performance today. Travesty of a performance. Maybe, just maybe, the worst performance of the season by Liverpool. And listen, they had a great opportunity of top 4. The top 4 fight still remains because Spurs and Newcastle are not going to, are not up to too much. But there's talk a few days ago, we're going to catch Man United. We're going to overtake you. Listen, we're going to be 10 points clear of you tomorrow. Man United, in my opinion, will beat, in my view, Southampton. And we will go on to 52 points. We'll be 10 points ahead of you with 12 games to go. You're not winning 4 more matches than us. You're not winning 3 more and drawing 1 more than us in the last 12 games. It's not going to happen. You're not good enough and we're not that bad. You know, Liverpool now fighting out for top 4, not top 3, but top 4. We're going to have a little look here at some of your super chats coming in. Liverpool and other rival fans preaching how crap the Gunners are for needing a last-minute winner and then go and lose to the same team. Beautiful is what Jason says. I had Salah in my fantasy team. Pain and banter club is what Akil says. Instant karma after all the crap Liverpool fans gave us. And listen, it is. And it doesn't take away the 7-0 win. But too many... Listen, he's not on today because he told me he couldn't make it this morning, so he's not hiding. But Zayn, he was the only Liverpool fan last week that said Liverpool fans have got to chill out a little bit. We're still not very good. And fair play to him. From 7 to Klopp done. From 7 to this, Klopp's done out here. These man with bare chest last week. I hear you. Mike says, I don't blame the fans for thinking there's an agenda. 5 handballs weren't given last week. This is the most competitive Premier League in years from a Manchester United fan. Like, I thought it was a Stonewall penalty, by the way. The arm was out. He looks around. It should have been a penalty. I got no qualms with the penalty being given at all. 100% it was one. But there was no bottle from this Liverpool team today. They allowed the gas from last Sunday to go to their head. 110%. They went into this match. I'm not saying thinking it was going to be easy, but almost, we scored last week. Look, some of those goals were lucky. Some of those goals were legitimately lucky against Man United. Ping ball flies in. I think 8 shots on target, 7 went in. There was an element of luck to this, and real Liverpool fans knew it. But I think that overconfidence creeped into that dressing room. Terry, get your cherry Pepsi Max, bro. No, bro, I'm drinking the 7-Up today for them 7-point gap. That's a nice little 7-point gap. Because I know, I don't care what any Liverpool fan says. Right now, you'd be taking that 7 points. Pepsi Max Cherry, not 7-Up. Oh, yeah, cherries. I get it with them. That's a funny one, actually. I like that. Liverpool proved that United just had a bad day in the office, is what Jacob believes. You're absolutely spot on, Jacob. 110% spot on. That's exactly what this was. It was a bad day in the office for Man United, an embarrassing day. But I said to Liverpool fans, listen, I thought you'd win today. I predicted a win today. But I said, look at performances and not results. That's the barometer. And Liverpool are not putting in the performances. Those 5 clean sheets, they were good, but you had to build on that. And I'm telling you this again now, in the context of this season, Liverpool fans would have rather have beaten us 3-0 and won today. You know, maybe they shot their load last week. I don't know what it is, but it was definitely a bad day in the office as opposed to them being 7-0 better than Man United, 110%. Liverpool hold that. What are you lot saying now? Yeah, a lot of the same Liverpool fans are not here today. I don't know where they are. They're not backstage. They're not in the comments. Thank you, Gotti, for becoming an official member. We appreciate that here. We really, really do. Sonny, their midfield has no link-up or cohesion. Yeah, Sonny probably is the reason this happened. 5-0 he predicted. 5-0 easy, and they've got no atmosphere, so how can they beat us? Top 4 is gone now because every match is inconsistent and flip-flopping. Turn up so good against good teams and crap against crap teams. And that's why I said, Liverpool fans should be angry about that. And interestingly, your next 3 games in the Premier League are City away, Chelsea away, Arsenal at home. You could get 9 points, but you could lose all 3. That's the inconsistency of this Liverpool team. Got Real Madrid in amongst that as well. There is an international break in that. Listen, they needed the 3 points today, Liverpool, to put themselves that have gone above Tottenham today, who have a tough game after a bad week. Tottenham are now incentivized. Tottenham can now go into their game, win, and suddenly Tottenham, well, they'll have a game in hand, but will move themselves 6 points ahead of Liverpool. It's such a bad result for the context of the league. As much as it might be great getting Jude in next year, Liverpool need Champions League football. And if you don't win the Prem, there's a failure there. If you don't win the Champions League, there's failure there. You don't win a domestic trophy, there's failure. The consolation prize for big clubs is being in the Champions League the following year. Remember, if you don't make top 4, it means you can't win the Champions League next year either, irrespective of how good you are. This is disastrous for Liverpool. Slipped and wasted all that 7-Up on themselves. Cocky is what Joshua Jack here says. Thursday nights are Europa nights. So they could end up in the Europa League. Legitimately, that's where Liverpool could end up. And from where they were, that's why I said I'll take the medicine on the 7-0. You can celebrate it. You can say you're never going to let us forget about it. But when you're alone in your bedroom, when you're by yourselves, you would much rather be third or fourth, or second, challenging in competitions now than that win. The lies all week that the 7-0 win is worth more than trophies. I saw some big Liverpool fans online say they'd give last season's FA Cup and Carabao Cups back to do it again. Liars. Absolute liars. And now they've been humbled massively today because this is actually damaging to your season. Man United are going to bounce back. We've got a great chance of winning another trophy, and we will make the Champions League. I'm not worried. Mad that the pen was given. We had 4 shouts last week. I was at least one was a pen, not a dig at Liverpool, but VAR. So inconsistent. All fans should be concerned. Yeah, I agree with you on that one there, Guna Duke. Brighton for top 4 is what Brian says here. Terry, Liverpool now have City, Arsenal, Liverpool up next. Yeah, absolutely. You already stated that, and it's going to be tough for them. You know, they lose 2 of them games, top 4 will be done, in my opinion. I'd hope for a draw and then to see Salah's penalty, is what Dr. Harris says. I hate Liverpool, is what Shade 44 has got to say. Terry, go get the Liverpool fans. They needed this answer for their crimes all week. 7-0 this, 7-0 that, and now you're hiding. Come take your medicine, is what Sareem's a Liverpool fan, by the way, but they're not going to turn up. They've got the link. We shared it with them this morning. Ram and Rack are backstage, by the way. They're going to be coming on soon, but they're not here because they can't take it. They can give it, but they can't take it. You don't see me hiding when my team loses. No more 7-up. Back to reality. Arsenal about to make going 30 years without a title look even more embarrassing. Come on, you gooners, is what Rudo Boy has got to say. Ten Hag ahead by tomorrow. Listen, ahead by 10 points. Ahead, we could be ahead by 10 points if we're good enough tomorrow. Absolutely. Terry, time to drink cherry Coke. Bring in Sonny and all the loser pools. Bring in that show-off loser pool, is what Nav's got to say. Sonny said Man United wouldn't recover, but it looks like it's Liverpool that couldn't recover, is what Andre says. If Liverpool finish below us, Klopp has to go, is what Perchy TV's got to say. We'll see him later after the Spurs game. Liverpool will never catch United. Might have lost last week, but they have been poor all season. United are on their way back, is what Chris Morton has got to say to you all today. I think you're spot on. This season, there's no way. Liverpool can still make the top 4. I'm not writing them off from that. I'm not writing Liverpool off. But they're not overtaking Man United. That I'm sure about. Liverpool fans should just wait for a week until the Bournemouth game, then banter. What a bunch of bottlers. They should have celebrated massively on Sunday, massively on Monday. But I was still seeing people massively talk about it on the Thursday. And the only reason they were doing that is preempting Man United beating Real Betis. They want to try and downplay that. But then what you start to do is you expose yourself for things like this. Should have kept it humble. And the maddest bit is the most humble Liverpool fan on the terrace all week was Zayn. How did that happen? How did that happen? It's crazy. Bring in these Liverpool panels the same as last time. They're not showing up. Not showing up. Check Terry. Brighton has 3 games in hand against other top 4 rivals. Over for Paul. It's not a crazy thing to think. Listen, we'll take a look at Brighton. They've got to win them. If they win 2 of those 3 games, then we'll start talking about top 4. I'm still not 100% convinced because of the power that the Liverpool and Tottenham's have, but they've got a chance. They've definitely got a chance. Macavia says, what happened to Sandy Carroll, Cody Gakprom, and Noodles? I thought they were back, is what Macavia has got to say here. By the way, look, I thought Cody Gakpo started really well. It looked sharp. He looked electric. But he faded. I thought Darwin Núñez was dangerous in this game, getting in behind, pulling defenders out of position. Mo Salah had an awful match. Should have been the guy to come off. Missed the penalty as well. The substitutions from Jurgen Klopp today were horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I'm looking at them again now. Milner on for Trent. Why? Why would you ever bring Milner on for Trent when you need to score a goal? And the only real sense of creativity you were going to have was whipping that ball into the box. That was it. That's all that could be done. Whipping the ball into the box was it. That's all that was there. That's all that could be done. It was absolutely crazy that he took him off. Who else? What else did they do? Darwin for Firmino with 30 minutes to go. Crazy. Jordan Henderson coming on, fair enough. I actually thought, Jota came on, did all right, created an opportunity. It was just, I know you could argue there's better, what other options are there on the bench? Well, no, I think you keep Darwin on the pitch. In my opinion, you just keep him on. Take a defender off. Losing 2-0 or 1-0 was irrelevant. Go for the win. It was crazy decision-making for me. Crazy decision-making from Jurgen Klopp. There's no doubt about that. A long time no see, Terry. That's from Daniel. It's a long time no see. How you doing, mate? He says, congrats on 300K. No one deserves it more. And this league is so inconsistent this year apart from Arsenal and City. I hear you on that. I think Man United have been, again, more consistent than everybody else below them, or we've grown to be more consistent. We had a bad start. But yes, they're the only two. Put yours ones up, Terry, from Marcy there as well. And yeah, listen, it was a crazy result indeed. There's no doubt about it. 7-up last week, Coke 0 this week. Jeez, is what Chris has got to say here. Yeah, a massive, as we already said, a massive humbling for Liverpool today. And listen, away from the humbling, we move it away from that talk now. A disastrous result. A beyond disastrous result. Chelsea OG here. How you doing, brother? He says Harvey Elliott wasn't all that. Yeah, I agree with Harvey Elliott coming off and you bring on Jota. But then bring Firmino on, but take another midfielder off. Take a defender off. Go for it. Taking Darwin Núñez off, who was your most dangerous attacker on the day, is crazy. Absolutely, fundamentally crazy. Pav here says, early kickoff strikes again. Enjoy your diabetes is what man like Pav has got to say. Cheers for the mod. Not a problem at all. We're going to start rewarding moderations out to more of our members and super chatters. But remember, no blocking people. Pretty much spamming. I don't even care. Let them spam. Just don't block people. Legitimately, no blocking unless they're being racist or sexist. Outside of that, or like homophobic, like nasty stuff. Like outside of that, leave, man. If they say your team's crap, hold the medicine. Like I don't want people getting blocked for no reason because they're my viewers. They're my viewers, right? I don't want you blocking people from my channel. So we're going to award a few out here. I'm going to make this man's not been made a mod yet. Man like Ray's being made a moderator. AMT is already a moderator as well that super chatted today. Daniel, you've been a long time viewer of the Terrace. You're being made a moderator as well, my friend, today as well. So thank you very much for all the donations you give to us. We're going to stick you in as moderators on the Terrace. Front three got no rhythm. Yeah, where I'm from, we say rhythm. Yeah, there's no rhythm. It was stiff today. It was very stiff. Drinking all that 7-Up. Players have got diabetes. Karma from asthma to diabetes. It's a madness. I told them about Liverpool. No consistency. Got caught drinking too much 7-Up is what Ray's got to say. AMT here says one of the worst penalty takes in the league ever. It was. I mean, it wasn't just bad. It was awful from Mo Salah to match his performance. And as I say, getting beat by the team bottom of the league on the back of maybe the greatest individual result in the league or club's ever had. It's one of the most embarrassing days Liverpool Football Club has ever had today. Because there was over-celebrating. There were people giving back FA Cups and Carabao Cups to try and do it again. And then your team drops this stinker. You know, I always try and tell people, learn how to banter properly. A couple of days, be humble, get your next win and go again. Or wait for the team you beat to lose again. But in fact, if Man United win tomorrow, trust me, United fans ain't going to care anymore. Yes, when it comes to the head-to-head next season, the 7-0 will come up and it'll hurt. It will hurt. But in the context of this season, it's terrible. As we say, we're drinking 7-Up today for that big 7-point gap between us and you, because you'd rather swap with us this year than be you. You know what I mean? 100%. I would take getting beat 7-0 every year by Liverpool to finish in front of you in the league. I want trophies, not by itself. I want trophies as well. But listen, I don't care. I don't even really like lemonade, but there we go. I'm drinking it anyway. Oh, my word. What a beautiful day. It's such a perfect day. I'm glad I spent it with you. Bournemouth are better than they have shown this season. Listen, Bournemouth have got some good players. They defend resolutely. I thought they were going to bottle it towards the end, but they didn't. They're an okay. Listen, they're one of the worst teams in the league. They're okay though. There's no easy games in the Prem, though. That's what I will say in fairness to Liverpool. There are no easy games in the Premier League. And a few people saying, what did Sonny say yesterday? This is what Sonny said yesterday. We do Bournemouth, Liverpool. What you saying, Sonny? What's going to be the score?
I'm saying 5-0 Liverpool.
Look at the evidence. 7 in our last game. Last time we played Bournemouth 9-0. I think minimum it's got to be 3. And I think it's not too hard to put in a good performance at Bournemouth. What's their capacity? 8,000. They haven't got enough fans to even make an atmosphere. So I think we're right.
We could do Bournemouth.
Stop it. Get some help.
Sonny, he's back 5 minutes and he's already jinxing his team. The difference between Liverpool and Spurs is that Liverpool win trophies, but the playing styles remain the same. Oh no, look, I think Liverpool are much better for stylistically than Spurs. And look, if I'm going to make a prediction, I still think Liverpool will make the top 4 over Spurs. All jokes and banter aside, I'm not going to disrespect Liverpool and go over the top with banter and be like, oh, they're a rubbish team, they're gone. I still think they could make it because Spurs are going to sink like a stone. But today was just medicine. Terry, as a United fan, I took a lot of crap from Liverpool fans last Sunday, but today feels so sweet. Told everybody it wouldn't last forever. Remember, listen to your dad and not the kids out there. One of the worst penalty in the league ever. I agree. Just asking if that was a freak result last week. As Neville said, 7-0 is not expected. Neither was the result. Really expect the energy still the same. Look, B, Liverpool, every Man United fan that predicted we were going to win easy at Liverpool's foolish. Liverpool could be in the Conference North and beat a Premier League team in Man United. They upped their game massively. But I said it last week and it was called salt, but I meant it. If Liverpool players didn't play with the same intensity the following week, they should be condemned by every Liverpool fan because that's embarrassing. It's a bit like, say you're dating a girl and she's a bit of a grumpy, moody cow all the time around you. But then when her friends are around or her mum and dad are around, she's the loveliest person in the world. That's a red flag to leave that person. It means the way they are with you isn't their normal. One of them ain't a normal personality. They're fake. These Liverpool players today have let their club down massively. And I actually feel that, to banter aside again, I feel sorry for Liverpool fans today with the way they've been treated. It's literally not the most embarrassing loss. 1-0 in the Premier League happens agenda. I said one of the most embarrassing losses for Liverpool this season. No, I didn't say period in the league ever. And it is. Bottom of the table after what you did to United is embarrassing. Come on now. Don't twist my words. I didn't say the most embarrassing ever. They were talking about 10-0 wins. Terry, last weekend I said Liverpool fans should relax themselves because they were not out of the mud yet. You shut me down. Liverpool fans come out. Musa, listen, maybe I did. I just said on the day, let's take our medicine. And then you do it a little later on, just hold your horses. But fair play to you for being right, my friend. Kenny here says, do you know Spurs have the same points, wins, draws, losses after 26 games last year? They have not improved. I know. I know. And we did get this. Right, I'm bringing out my panel now. Husam is here to chat to us. He'll talk to us. I know he's got to go, but he's going to come on. We've got KJ here. We've got Ram. We've got Little Tom. And Little Tom, who put Trent Alexander-Arnold into the best Premier League team this season, by the way. He literally did that today. And man like Rack is on the show. Make sure like buttons are being hit. Make sure you're subscribing. Let's bring out the boys now. Welcome back. Husam, talk to me, brother. Firstly, I hope you're feeling better after how you felt. You feeling ill a few days ago, but talk to me about that performance and losing to Bournemouth 1-0 today.
I mean, you can hear in my voice, I'm still a little bit sick, but the performance today make me even sicker because this club just makes no sense anymore. We're genuinely we are Robin Hood FC. Like, it's just, we take points from Man United, we give to Bournemouth. We take points from City, we give to Leeds. We take points from Spurs, we give to Nottingham Forest. There's just, Liverpool would beat Brazil from 2002, and then they would lose to Jordan. This is the Liverpool. Like, this club is just, I don't even know what to say anymore. This club is just weird this season. Look, when it comes to today's game, Mo Salah dropped an absolute stinker today, even without the penalty miss. Without even the penalty, he was absolutely dreadful. Virgil van Dijk, I thought, had an absolutely horrible performance as well. And it's sad to say those two specifically, because those are two world-class players that you can depend on, rely on. But those two, they just let us down today and genuinely didn't have a good performance at all. The rest of the team as well, I can't really say anyone was incredible. I thought Harvey Elliott was horrible. Darwin Núñez didn't really have a good game at all as well. I thought Gakpo was probably our best player in the front line. In terms of our midfield, once again, non-existent. Our defense couldn't defend to save our lives. Trent and Robertson both. I thought Trent was actually better than Robertson, to be honest with you. But Robertson never gets spoken about because it's the typical hard-on to talk about Trent the whole time. If Klopp has such a hard-on to bring on Milner, maybe take off Robertson every now and then, switch it up instead of just taking off doing the same shit over and over and over from Klopp's perspective.
He takes off Trent clearly because he sees Trent playing badly. He doesn't take off Robertson. Do you think Klopp is getting that wrong?
Yes, and Klopp doesn't do that because of the reason you said. Klopp pre-plans his substitutions, which is something that we speak about and we consistently criticize. And is about to get into that. The substitutions were absolutely horrible. There was absolutely no reason to take Darwin Núñez off. Even I, someone who isn't the biggest fan of Darwin Núñez, wanted Núñez to stay on because he's a threat. He's a threat in behind. He's a threat in front of goal. If I think Salah deserved to get taken off in that game, to be honest with you, if I'm being completely straightforward. So I think maybe you should have taken off Salah, definitely not Núñez. In terms of the midfield substitutions as well, Henderson, Milner. Look, every big game, we're going to turn up. And you know what? I'm going to be confident against Arsenal at home. We're going to be confident in these big games. When it comes to these small games, the inconsistencies is why we're at where we're at right now. The inconsistencies, the inability to win games in a row like we used to is the reason why we're here right now. You can beat the big teams. You can beat Man United. You can beat Arsenal. You can beat City. You can beat all these guys. But when it comes to the other part of the bottom 10 in the league, you need to beat the likes of Bournemouth, Forest, Leeds, all these teams consistently to be in a much better position. I mean, the 4 games that I've mentioned already, had we won those, we're literally 12 points better off just by beating 4 absolutely horrendous teams. And today, for the first time ever in the Klopp era, in the 73rd minute, I said, guys, we're not scoring a goal because it just smelt like it. You could just feel from watching football for so long, like I have done, that there's no goal going to happen for us. I just gave up. I just knew, okay, we're not going to score a goal and just lock it off because we just offered no threat whatsoever. Now, the one thing I will say, I'm not going to lose my mind. The reason I'm not is top 4 race, you don't need to be as consistent as you need to be in a title race. Like, it's not like I'm fighting City for the league and I must win 20 games in a row to win it. When it comes to top 4 race, all teams are inconsistent. Sorry. Newcastle and Spurs are just as inconsistent, and stuff. They've allowed us to catch up. So it shows you how inconsistent they've been. So, look, for top 4, I do agree with Terry. I still probably see us making it. But as of today, the result is just dreadful, man. Just dreadful. And no player can say he had a good performance today. Maybe besides Gakpo a little bit. But the rest, they were all dreadful.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom, how about yourself, mate? Obviously, I know you got gas this week. You've gone from Klopp in to putting 4 Liverpool defenders into the team of the year. You did.
Gotcha.
Talk to me about the performance. How are you feeling today? A week on, losing that momentum in the top 4 race.
I'm not shocked that we've lost today. I think any Liverpool fan could have told you that with the run of games you've got coming up, you'd back us to beat City and lose to Bournemouth more. We didn't say we've got this weird thing this season where we start games well, and we started today well, but the moment we don't score and we hit the 25th minute, we sit there and go, "Oh, what's the point anymore?" and then just stop playing. Like it's stupid. We had all the pressure, we had all the dominance in the first 25. We had it they cleared it off the line. We had a couple of good efforts saved. We had a goal ruled out for offside. It's the 25th minute, and we just stop playing. We just decide, I can't be bothered anymore. I mean, Virgil van Dijk was absolutely horrific on that first goal. you can get done. You can get done by a player. That's fine. But to not even show the effort to sprint back and try and block the cross by the player that has just done you is stupid. Salah, awful. The entire midfield was stunk. I thought Trent was all right. I thought on a defensive end, yes, he was crap, but everyone was crap. He was putting in decent balls, and then obviously our lovely pre-planned substitutions. I genuinely think we're the only team that makes substitutions to deliberately get worse. We make substitutions to get worse. They don't have a positive impact on the game. I mean, it's just you could see it come from Mal. I'm not too bothered. Like in reality, I'm not too bothered because if this was title change, I'd be more bothered. But
I do get that. But this is why, like, you obviously got called out, Tom, for being Klopp out or saying like, if this don't improve, Klopp out at the end of the season. I understand that FSG are not buying you everybody you want, but you've got a good enough team to beat Bournemouth. They're bottom of the league. This is today was a Jurgen Klopp issue in large parts. The substitutions, as you've mentioned, the high line. Even last week, it was hard to talk about last week because you smashed us and you destroyed us. But in the first half, we nearly scored twice. Even when you were winning 4-5-6-0, we were still beating your high line, and we hit the post and stuff. That is the biggest issue at your club. I think you're the third highest goal scorers in the league, but your defense can't stop leaking. And I'm at a point where I'm not even blaming the defenders anymore. The high line, every single team exploits it, and your manager just doesn't change it. To not criticize Klopp for that is ridiculous, in my opinion.
I mean, it all comes down to gross negligence from everyone within the club. We have built a system that is very successful when it's got all the right pieces. But right now, we lack certain pieces, i.e. the midfield. So once you have a system that's so vital to having players in the midfield performing at the level they can perform to, in terms of just constant running, constant pressure, when they're not doing that, it's so easy to break us down because it all falls apart. I mean, this has been an issue. This has been a season-long issue, and we're able to pull it out the bag when it comes to Anfield, and we've got big teams coming because we don't want to, the Anfield crowd and all that. But this summer is massive, and a lot of people have questioned me this week because we beat United 7-0. Oh, you're not Klopp out anymore yet. The point is, I was never saying I want Klopp gone this instance, but my point of view still hasn't changed. I still don't believe I still don't have the trust in that man to do a full rebuild because I've never seen it before. He's going to get the chance. But I've got massive concerns. I've got major problems around it, and we'll just see what happens. But I mean that's.
Tom, I don't want to fight you. I don't want to fight you. I'm not in the mood to fight you right now. Please don't start. Don't start. Honestly,
don't start.
What has he said that's wrong? Tell me. Why has he said that's wrong?
Him saying, we've already seen, you know what listen, Tom is a different generation to me. So this whole, oh my God, build, rebuild, it's two different things.
You men are like 2 years apart. What are you talking about?
No, he's like 10 years younger than me. He's 18 or 19.
Oh my,
you know what? Just whatever.
All this build, rebuild shit is the same shit, bro.
No, it isn't.
Build it. By the way, arguably, rebuilding is a lot easier than building.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
No, but the thing is, Tom, most
depends on your perspective.
don't even last long enough to have a rebuild.
1 second, Rax. Rebuilding is 4 or 5 players. That's rebuilding. Building is you start from the ground. Building is you come and Adam Bogdan is your substitute goalkeeper. Building is you come in and you've got Skirtle, Sacco, Moreno. That's building. Yeah. We ain't got Skirtle, Sacco, Moreno. So all I need to see is 3 new midfielders, a centre back, and we're good to go. And what I will not have is, and Tom, I love you and I don't want to fight you. So someone who wants fucking Amorim, Portuguese Brendan Rodgers to come in and build this team.
Got a fantastic 2-2 draw against Arsenal midweek.
Like Amorim's going to command the respect of the Liverpool dressing room. Like he's going to show, oh, Mo Salah, come, let me teach you how my fucking
because it looked like Klopp had the respect today, didn't it?
It looked like Klopp had the respect of the place. This is my point. Rebuilding is so different to building. Yes, building is harder. Building is harder from a logistical sense because you've got to get more players in. You've got more chance of duds. But guess what? When you're rebuilding, it's a completely different environment. So
But
Jurgen
Tom,
Klopp,
I have to
we
ask
understand.
But Tom,
I have to
your
ask you,
argument-
how
that
long
wasn't
has
your
a
answer.
manager
Tom,
lasted
Ryan, one
to
second.
rebuild a team?
Tom, the issue was you said you've never seen him do it before, but you never see the vast majority of managers do it before because the vast majority of managers don't last 7, 8, 9 years. Okay, you haven't seen Klopp do it, but I mean that doesn't mean he can't do it. What we have
he's had more chance than other top managers. Jurgen Klopp had the chance at Dortmund. Let's not act like that Dortmund last season didn't happen.
No.
Let's not act like
Dortmund
Dortmund.
he didn't.
Why are we doing revisionism on it?
No,
Why
because it's not revisionism, Tom. Tom, it's not revisionism because some of the
he
players
was
that
bottom
they
of the
brought in,
league in January.
He did.
Yeah, and where did he
want
finish?
players like Ciro Immobile at the team to replace Robert Lewandowski.
So he didn't get. He wasn't. But he did recover from being in a terrible position where they had shitloads of injuries and the team was dysfunctional.
The players that he wanted at Dortmund in that last season, some of them he didn't want him. He didn't want Ciro Immobile in his team. That's a big option just to replace Robert Lewandowski. He didn't want him, and that's why he had a falling out with the board.
But this is my point. Look at what we are doing. Look at the type of manager we've got. When we are on about a rebuild is being quick on the mark, being able to understand who has to go quickly, being able to put aside your affections, your relationships with a player, and be ruthless. Jurgen Klopp has not shown me in any point of his managerial career that correct side of ruthlessness, and that is the most important factor to a rebuild of a team you've built. Because you have to be able to sit there and look at the players that built you up and go, I can't do it with you now. I can't believe in you now. That's the thing. Jurgen Klopp is very good at building because he has no prior relationships. He can go in there and go, I need you gone. I don't care. You've not done anything for me, so I need you gone.
It's all like
it's
just
different.
guesswork. But this is all just guesswork, Tom. Really,
it's not though because
it is.
Right,
You know what, guys? You know what? Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the game.
Hold on. What top managers have that are currently managing right now? What top managers have successfully built a club up, then rebuilt the club once they'd built it up? What top managers went through 2 cycles?
So who has? Yeah. Okay. So who has? So, but you're advocating to change this where we are now, or not? You're not advocating, but you're posing the question. Mm-hmm. Change where we are now. Any new manager coming in, it's still going to be a rebuild, right? It's not going to be building from scratch. Mm-hmm. It's building with the vast majority of players we already have.
Yeah, but Tom's point is...
So the question is, do you think a new manager can do that better than Jurgen Klopp?
Yes,
I would say that Jurgen
Klopp
Klopp has proven he's a world-class manager.
But Jurgen Klopp is not rebuilding a blank slate. Jurgen Klopp is rebuilding a squad he has spent the last 6 years generating affections with. That's the hot... I will sit there and say Jurgen Klopp is still one of the best managers in the world. But you have to understand the circumstances around the job he's got to do. As a manager, he is a very emotional manager. He's able to get the best out of average players by creating such deep relationships. And a consequence of that is he might not be able to cut loose when the time is right.
Okay,
we have held on to certain players in the squad for
the key word you said there, Tom, is might. You've got to give Jurgen Klopp the opportunity to do this.
Right. The evidence has been shown that in modern football, most managers do not rebuild and rebuild again. So people like Fergie,
yeah, because most managers aren't there long enough.
Yes, but that's the evidence.
But that's not the evidence. Most managers get sacked before they even have the chance.
Yeah, but
or they leave before they even have a chance, or they get poached before they even have the chance.
Yeah, okay, that's a fair point. But for Klopp, in his reigns, where Dortmund he was there long enough to do so, he's shown that he hasn't do it. Now, listen, I honestly don't care what you man do going forward. Sure. I just want to chat about the game because I'm so glad that this has happened because now we can have an honest conversation. Because last week, if we actually tried to have an honest conversation about Liverpool, you couldn't have it because all you get is 7-up, 7-0, da-da-da-da-da. Cool. Your eyes are now open.
Well, it's 7-1 now.
You guys won a game 7-0 with 8 shots on target, 7 goals. Mm-hmm. That in itself is a flipping foolish. Like, that is freakish. Like, that does not happen. That conversion rate is flipping ridiculous.
Yeah.
If we wanted to talk, if we wanted to tell you that actually you guys weren't the greatest, you're good, but you weren't amazing, you wouldn't have heard it. This is you.
No, but KJ, I agree.
These games are you. And the issue is that not only your defense, you got your high line. Where is your creativity coming from against these teams? You've got 3 players up front who all just want to shoot. You've got 3 shooters up top. Where is the creativity coming from? You've got young players like Carvalho and Harvey Elliott, but who's going to provide that? That's another issue that Klopp has to fix. and he's
But
just not fixing it right now.
We've been awful this season. We have been really bad this season. I don't think anyone's saying we haven't. Last week, 7-0. I think fans are absolutely correct to celebrate that.
Celebrate.
And it's not even about celebrating for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Celebrate for 2 weeks if you want. It doesn't make any difference.
Yes.
It's down to the players. The players are professionals. If the players are taking their eye off the ball, it's they're being unprofessional. It's not about the fans celebrating.
The Liverpool fans went from being in the pits and saying we don't know where we're going to we're back and Man United season is over. Stuff like that's why one issue.
The thing is, KJ, I'll back Rax up on, because that was the culmination of it weren't just like we'd been crap 7-0. It was that was our fifth clean sheet in a row.
Yeah.
Fifth,
Tom,
4 wins in 5.
We were crap, Tom. We were crap. It was 2 weeks before that Crystal Palace. We were crap.
No. I have no issue with Liverpool fans getting hope from that 7-0. That's fine. But when you start to say things like Man United's season is now over, we won't be able to recover. We'll be out of all of our cups. We won't get.
Did we say that?
I'm not saying any of you said it. I'm not saying any of you said it, but I'm saying this is where the issue lies. And then now this happens. Now the honest conversation wants to happen. Why can't we have the honest conversation?
So on a level, like Tom and I don't know if Rack was on the match reaction last week. I don't think you were. No, you weren't. But like that's why I said it. Zayn was the only guy who kind of came out and said, we all need to calm down a little bit though and not go so crazy. Where I do disagree slightly, Rack, is I've always, this isn't just because of this circumstance. You've watched me long enough to know I say this. I believe one of the reasons United lost against you is there was an overconfidence within the club, including the fans, that this was going to be a walk in the park. And we know our players see what we write and say, because they tell us at times, like Declan Rice the other day coming out and like snapping back at the journalist over what people in public had said. And I do think this week there was a little bit of overindulging as a football club on this, when actually by Wednesday, it should have been right. Shut the fuck up now and let's get on to focusing. Let's put pressure on our players to go out there and perform, because it had to be cemented. And listen, I've had a bit of banter on Twitter and put out a picture of 7-Up in a trophy cabinet, and people are like, "Oh, still don't take away the embarrassment of the defeat." And yeah, you're right, it doesn't. But at the end of the day, what we're doing is fighting for which one of us finishes the highest in the league this year and wins the most trophies. Listen, if Man United could be in this position every year and/or challenging for titles, but it meant losing to you guys and you were doing nothing, I'd take it. Like, imagine this season was what Liverpool and United were going to go through every year forever. You wouldn't take beating a 7-0 just for that. So that's why that you need to focus. And I think a lot of people took their eye off the problems at Liverpool. Now, aside from that, there are big problems there. This kind of predetermined subs, that's a problem. I mean, I've never heard that before. So maybe it's been said many, many times in the Liverpool camp. Was it in a book or something recently? I don't know. But how can you predetermine the subs you're going to make when you don't know how the game is going to go?
I don't think it's ever been said. I don't think it's ever been said, but it's just you watch the same subs game in game out, regardless of performance. One game, Trent could have a blinder, and he'd still come off for Milner with 10 minutes to go, and you're sitting there going, and even today, was Trent good? No, absolutely not. Trent Alexander-Arnold, no one was good, and Trent was one of the ones who was really poor. But you have to understand that he is still more of a creative threat than 37-year-old James Milner at right back. This is the part that gets us. I don't want to speak for Rax or Ram because they'll have their own piece to say, but seeing these subs, seeing these mindless subs, then you're sitting there and going, why would you possibly make that decision? It can only be you've thought about it pre-game, you're trying to save legs, there's red zone or fitness or whatever. So then if there's fitness issues, why are they even playing in the first place? Why are we sitting there gambling on players' fitness for Bournemouth? And stuff like this.
And this is the thing. And then we hear, it's very reminiscent of Spurs fans. They're all saying now how bad their team is. When we mentioned a few of their players that overrated 3 or 4 months ago, they went mental. A lot of Liverpool fans this week were like, no, we've got Konate back and Van Dijk and we're getting these clean sheets. We're going to be great. You don't win today and suddenly it's rubbish players again and bad this, bad that. And I think that there's just a request, I think, from football fans for a little bit of intellectual honesty earlier on, as it were. I want to go to some of these super chats because a lot have come in. The first one says Sonny is back in jail for drop kicking a baby. He did say that. Remember, he did say that. Mr. B for life says, if Liverpool sells Salah, would you lot take him? I mean, I like Mo Salah. Mo Salah's not bad, but he had a bad game today. He's brilliant. Brighton will be fourth. Said it before. Got laughed at is what No Fox Given says. Perchy says Liverpool standing with Lineker. It seems.
Yeah. I'd just like to say, I will not be watching Match of the Day tonight. Out of solidarity, definitely.
I'm not going to watch it after this.
Chelsea 1-0 up. Was it Luke? Was it Chilwell? Ben Chilwell just scored for Chelsea. And Liverpool Spurs did go 1-0 up, but Richarlison was offside. Liverpool beat United 3-0 and got 3 points. Bournemouth took those 3 points back, is what Andre says. Husam and Liverpool FC have a loser mentality, still celebrating the 7-0 last week against a team that can go 10 points above them. Hashtag FSG it is very true. Go on, mate.
I don't understand what's the issue of celebrating the 7-0 after.
There's no issue with celebrating it. There's over celebrating, and when I say over celebrating, I mean Thursday
after the Betis game.
Yeah, like it was like it was. Okay. When I say over celebrating, it was almost you're not really celebrating it still. I know for a fact none of you woke up on Thursday I'm gonna go for a drink after that win. Still, I know it had calmed down.
Oh yeah. And the same things like you would trade FA Cups and
trade FA Cups, like trade them for last year. And it's a bullshit. I'd never want to win the Carabao Cup again if we could do this every year. That's what I mean by overplaying the hand.
But it was also a case though, Terry, that apart from the Liverpool fans celebrating it, United fans got it from every single other fan base as well, right?
We're everybody's rivals, and
but okay, that's part of it. But it's also because everyone is what's the word in German? Schadenfreude. Everyone loves taking pleasure in other people's misery, and on last Sunday, you obviously held 7, and everyone came for you. But that's also football. Like everyone will come for us today because. We lost the game. That's absolutely right. I
understand that, and that's why the reaction is what it is today. Because
for sure.
And especially if Man United beat Southampton, because you had people like Igal coming on going, I think this could be a black mark on United forever. I think Ten Hag's reign is going to collapse from this point moving forward. And it's like, well, how'd you like them apples, essentially?
Yeah.
Zama here says, my big, fat, round, plump birds can beat Liverpool. I hope your parrots are well. Liverpool must stay humble. The 7-0 was false.
Do you know what though? The part that gets me, and I understand it was a mad result in terms of the stats wise. Yes, I back that. But to say it was a completely out of the blue result, considering 3 of the last 4 games we've beaten you by 4+ goals, like we still have that capability in us to do it.
I think the one that gets me is the fact that people saying that we actually didn't play well that game.
Oh,
you played well. No, you guys played well. I'll never take that away. Yeah. The out of the blue, Tom, is the form that United was in this season compared to Liverpool's. And look, yours in the last 4 games before that, you guys were on a good run anyway, like clean sheets, winning games. But if you had said 2-1 Liverpool, 2-0 Liverpool, I don't think any United fan would have said, nah, that's a mad result. 7 is where it's out of the blue, because not even your biggest fans, your most deluded fans, would have said 7. So
yeah, no, I agree, and I think you did play well last week. I played nothing down about Liverpool at all last week. I even told United fans not even to give any banter back for at least a day, because I thought we had to hold it. What happened to Salah after Mane? We thought he was world class.
Why is this idea now suddenly changed about most? You do realise he's got. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know all about Rashford. Hasn't he got more goals? Has he got like 1 less goal or assist, or is it more goals and assists than Rashford this year?
He's got 1 or 2 behind Rashford. Yeah.
So this is a Marcus Rashford who is in the conversation for one of the best players in the world at the minute, and Mo Salah's just behind that. But we're saying he's awful. He's crap. He's not without Mane, and he's not world class. Come on.
He was poor today, but I don't think he had a bad season. It's just that the whole team. This is what happens when a team isn't playing well. Everybody looks bad. Like I said it for ages. If you'd have stuck KDB 5 years ago at Man United and put Bruno in the City team, there'd be completely different narratives about how good each player is.
The thing this season, I've said this about Liverpool before this season, right? You can't trust us to get a result. We can play a shit team and lose. Embarrassing like we did today, bottom of the league. This is the second time we've lost to a team that was bottom of the league. We also lost to Forest. when they were bottom of the league.
Yeah.
And then City can come to Anfield, and Man United can come to Anfield, and we've had good performances, beat both teams, Napoli, and all this kind of stuff. So next week we may play brilliantly, or we may be diabolical. We just don't know. We're completely unpredictable.
Rax, we're on for the three-peat. We're on for the three-piece of getting beaten by bottom of the table, because Southampton are bottom now, and we've still got to play them again. Last game of the season. We're on for the three-piece.
Yo, on a real though, why is this happening? Like early in the season, it was happening, and it'd be like, we'll kick into form throughout the season, it'll be fine.
This is the thing.
But it's literally all season. You just can't. You can beat the top teams, and you just can't beat the bottom ones. Is it as much as tactics? Yeah, we can highlight them, and Klopp needs the X, Y, and Z. What's wrong with these players' mentality right now? What's wrong with the mentality?
I don't know, because this has been Liverpool for. This has been Liverpool for pre-Jurgen Klopp. We're known to come up against the big teams and perform well. And then when it comes to the small team, we end up just playing like absolute horseshit. And it's happening this season. I don't know why these players. I think it's more complacency, especially for today.
That was Liverpool the majority of their Premier League lives. That where you were always invariably good in big games, but where you lost a lot of points was to the, as you say, the smaller teams. But that's also why I'm looking at Jurgen Klopp. And a lot of people think I have an agenda, and I don't. I'm looking at the fact that you have the ability to play up to a certain level, but you're not doing it week in, week out. It's managers who create the consistency at their clubs, because you all know that there's no way a lesser manager than Klopp and a lesser manager than Pep would have got the same consistency out of your squads in the last 5 years, right? You would all agree with that.
Yeah.
So if suddenly you lose a consistency, that's also got to be on the manager, right? It can't just be. I'm not saying 100% on the manager. I'm not saying it's all him. They could have bought better in the market. They need better in midfield, as an example. Some players have dropped off. This happens, but there has to be an element on the manager.
But Terry, in any business, it's going to be on the manager. Like the manager's the captain of the house.
Absolutely. I've got to get through some more of these super chats here. Nick here says we beat United Trophy FC last week. Was a blip. United will pick up 3 points tomorrow, I pray, and go back to 10 points clear. The only person who's got to really hold that isn't even Liverpool fans, is Gal. Because if we win tomorrow, I'm coming for that man's neck. I'm going to stamp on it. Metaphorically, that man's neck is getting stamped on, because that man was chatting all sorts of weirdness. He was celebrating it like he was a Liverpool fan. It was crazy.
he was celebrating it like Nketiah had got 2 goals to assist. It was Arsenal 7-0.
He's celebrating it because he's part of this very small but weird group of Arsenal fans who's doing this rebuild tournament. Who's his best, him or Arteta's or Ten Hag's
rebuild league, Yeah,
it's terrible. At the end of the day, 7-0 was 3 points. Nothing more, nothing less. Means way less when you lose 1-0 to little ball.
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane 1-0. Boom. Right. That makes it even worse for Liverpool, doesn't it? If Spurs picking up points.
I would just like to say the 7-0 means it doesn't mean less because we've held 1-0 to Bournemouth. Because it was never about the points.
Yeah, but yes and no. You're saying that from the reason I agree with. Beating your rivals by that score won't go away. In the context of the season, and this is why losing like that and winning like that feels different. Losing like that, you can move on from it because there's nothing about the game you want to look back on. It's all like, well, let's look at the season. When you win it, of course it means something special. But equally, if you guys were like doing what you were doing in the last few years and we were sitting 7th and we beat you 5-6-7-0 and we were celebrating it, you know what the response would be from you lot. What a trophy. You know exactly what you guys are responding with. This here says rebuilding is way more difficult. You have to let go of players you bought and trusted. That is the thing. Pep is surprised by what the way he's done what Sir Alex Ferguson has done.
Rax, do you trust Jurgen Klopp to let go of Henderson? Do you trust Jurgen Klopp to let go of these players that have been stalwarts for 6 years and go, you know what? No, I need you out the door now. I can't trust you. Or is he going to go, you know what, you've been with me for so long. I'll let you stay around because you could still have a positive impact. And then that positive impact spirals into 5 starts in a row because he trusts them. That's my worry.
For what Jurgen Klopp has done for Liverpool Football Club, I trust to give him the opportunity to do that. And ultimately, time will tell whether I'm right or wrong.
Yeah.
The thing is, we don't know. We don't know.
He'll get next year. He will get next year,
Yep.
and I've got no issue if he's the manager next year.
Just out of interest
But
of
it's a
time, boys,
concern.
I've got other games to watch, and I've got to get through these. There's so many super chats yet. I can't. If we sit here and debate all of them, we'll be here for 3 hours. Listen to Liverpool fans talk shows that they don't believe the 7-0 last week was papering over cracks. United lost 7-0, and our house is better, is what Nick T has got to believe. But you know what? I'll say that very quickly, Nick. As I said, I think celebrating a win against your rivals the way they did is fair. But it was any Liverpool fan or rival that was talking about how it defines United's season. They'll crumble. The trophies now mean nothing because they've lost 7-0. That was what I meant by over-celebrating or over-indexing what was being said. That was where it just got... And that was the maddest bit. That's how the celebrations then became embarrassing because you went too far with them. And it was a case of learn how to banter to a point where everyone finds it funny rather than going, oh, that's just stupid. Giving back FA Cups and Carabao Cups for a win. No one actually believes that. It's crazy. Terry, Liverpool are 18+ goal difference this season. 16 of those came in 2 games. That's 2+ goal difference in the other.
That's
20.
not how football works. You can't just take away 2 results and say,
Yeah,
okay, we'll take the extremes. But
I think that looks at your. I think what Nigel means is it shows the inconsistency in your performances is more. So I think that's what.
But then I could say, let's take away Wolves 3-0 and Brighton 3-0. And all of a sudden it's back to 10 goal difference or whatever it is.
Yeah. This is the thing. You can't just take away isolated results. But we have been inconsistent. But what he's saying doesn't demonstrate that.
No, but I don't think he's taken. I think that's what Nigel is referring to. Almost that case of you've had 2 massive results of giving you good GA. You actually scored a lot of goals, but your leaky defense. That's the biggest problem at your club. It's your leaky defense. Like people have really attacked your attackers. But I think you've scored 47 goals this season, which is crazy. It's your defense. It's Trent and it's Van Dijk and it's the high line. Those things are absolutely horrendous.
Sorry? We've got one of the best defenses in the league in terms of goals conceded. You've got Newcastle with first with 17. Then you've got Chelsea, Arsenal, City with 25. And then us with 29.
I think the big issue when it comes to is the timings of when we concede is normally when we concede first and then we can't get back into the game.
Yeah,
I think we have a stat.
Yeah, and when you say 29, like Crystal Palace are 12th and they've conceded 32 as an example. West Ham at 18th, they've only conceded 33 goals. Like it's I think you're right, Ram. It's the timing of them. Liverpool got billed. Sorry for the bad pun, is what Adam says. Big up Rackham Ram, proper Reds. Not you though, Tom. Who's the actual Scouser?
Wow. The only Scouser is not a proper
Red.
Yeah. Ginger Fury here says signing Bellingham for over 100 million. Is that smart?
No.
If the manager wants him, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Great. I heard from Liverpool fans say to me that they're take losing every game to beat United 7-0, then lose their next game is a shambles. Yeah, again, some the Liverpool fans that did that just went too far. And I know for a fact that most other Liverpool fans don't endorse that message. Just goes to show the result last weekend was because of mental and physical fatigue and the same naivety towards the end. Liverpool just turn up for big games. Today's results demonstrates that. It could be 2-0. Oh, João Felix, it's a par. What a goal that would have been. Oh, celebrating the 7-0 isn't the problem, but writing off United's season after that one-off result was ridiculous. Regardless of outcomes, Reds don't hide or whine is what Have Hope says. Not all Reds have, but I haven't seen. Sonny said he was out and he's just got home. Yeah, of course. Now, what's man out doing? You don't do that. Can't lie. Igal does annoy me a lot of the time is what Adam says.
Big up Igal there.
Let's not forget Liverpool Football Club have only ever won 1 Premier League trophy. Bournemouth just stole all of their 7-0 momentum. And Anthony here says, as an Arsenal fan, bring back the United fans from last night. Also, Tom Sonny brought you guys bad luck with his chest last night.
I still remember Sonny when he used to do that Friday night show, and he's got him doing the Liverpool quiz.
Oh yeah,
Liverpool's mascot was Redbird.
In fairness, he's just like he loves his football club. He's just like
he's just young, isn't it?
Young. But the funniest one was, who did you beat? I think it was in the UEFA Cup final. Who did you lose to in the UEFA Cup final? When he said Arsenal. I just laughed. There was a few funny ones. Do you remember the best one was what nationality is
Joel Massip?
Joe
Oh.
Matip, and he was he thought he was Ivorian. But you know, like the Ivory Coast is when it's written in, I think, in French.
You tried to say it the way they say it.
Yeah, and the way kids are taught the ABC now isn't ABC, it's abacada. And it's like he was reading out the sounds of the letters. That was the funniest bit. But no, I don't think anybody really got it. I found that bit the best, to be fair. But there we go. And Flawless will definitely. Leicester just hit the crossbar. Leicester just hit the crossbar in their game.
Do you know what the funniest part of that team I put out yesterday, Terry? Saka was probably the best defender in there. If you were to put Saka at left back today, he'd probably be the best defender that we had.
He may very well have been. Listen, guys, we're going to be back live after Leicester, Chelsea, Tottenham, Nottingham Forest, and make sure you're all back with us then. The links are all up and ready. Smash the like button before you leave. Please subscribe to the football. We're going to take some calls later tonight after the City game as well, because there'll be more time because there's just the games are all so close as well. So if you want to talk about anything, let's do it. I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my 7-Up. I am. Tastes very nice and chilled. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you